On October 8th, 1871, a massive fire ripped through northeastern Wisconsin, and it was absolutely insane. This thing is called the Peshtigo fire, and it was the deadliest wildfire in the U.S. history. Between 1,500 and 2,500 people died. Most people barely know about it because it happened the same day as the Chicago fire. This fire started near Green Bay. Some railroad workers were cleaning land for tracks and set some brush on fire. Back then, they cut down tons of trees and left the land all dry and messy, which made it perfect for a fire to blow up. High winds hit and total chaos. People used to blame a cow knocking over a lantern for fires like this, but that's just a myth. The Peshtigo fire burned up to 1.2 to 1.5 million acres. It was so crazy that the fire literally jumped over Green Bay and torched Door and Kewaunee counties. 16 towns got wrecked, but Peshtigo had it the worst. The whole city was gone in an hour, and 800 people died there alone. Money-wise, the damage was huge. Back then, it cost about $169 million, which today is over $4.4 billion. That's approximately 1.04% of Elon Musk's net worth. Losing everything, your house, your stuff, your town, all in one night. It wasn't just a regular fire. It was a firestorm, which is basically when a fire gets so big and hot that it makes its own weather. Heat pulls in air and creates these super strong winds that make the fire spread even faster. It's like nature's version of a flamethrower or a tornado. A firestorm burns so hot and moves so fast that there's almost no way to stop it. Today there's a museum in Peshtigo all about the fire. It's called the Peshtigo Fire Museum, and it's full of stuff from back then, like tools, photos, and stories from survivors. It's there to make sure people don't forget what happened. The Peshtigo fire taught us a lot about how to deal with fires. Now we have better forestry practices like controlled burns, and people are way more aware of fire safety. But even with all that, the story of Peshtigo fire is a reminder of how powerful and scary nature can be. The Peshtigo fire of 1871 had a big impact on the creation of the Weeks Act of 1911. The fire showed how dangerous it could be when forests were poorly managed and overlogged, making them more likely to catch fire. Even seeing the destruction of the government realized there needed to be more rules about protecting forests and managing them properly. The Weeks Act, passed in 1911, allowed the government to buy and protect land in important areas, especially near watersheds, to stop wildfires and keep forests safe. This law helped change how forests were managed. The Peshtigo fire got so hot it reached upwards of 2,000 degrees. It could melt church bells, it could turn sand into glass, and it was so hot that it could even break rocks in half. The Peshtigo fire was almost 10 times as hot the temperature that water boils at. The Peshtigo fire of 1871 was a total disaster, and it's wild to think about how much damage it caused. It might have happened a long time ago, but the lessons from it are still super important today. It's a story of loss, survival, and how people can rebuild even after something so terrible.